Queen was getting ready for 4 days of extravaganza of Jubilee events as she was seen returning to Windsor from Balmoral with her beloved corgi at her side today. Her Majesty was pictured waving to a group of children as she rolled up to Windsor Castle in a Range Rover, accompanied by her canine companion in the back seat. Hours earlier, the Queen was seen at an airport in Scotland, where she boarded a plane back to Berkshire for 4 days of Jubilee celebrations. The 96-year-old monarch spent 5 nights at her Scottish country estate, where she was able to relax and rest ahead of what will undoubtedly be an exciting but busy long weekend of Jubilee celebrations. She normally visits Balmoral at this time of year and also spends an extended amount of time there over the summer period, usually travelling in mid-July and staying until September or October. The Queen's return today comes just days before celebrations for her Platinum Jubilee are set to begin, which will kick off with the Trooping the Colour Parade on Thursday, followed by the lighting of the Platinum Jubilee beacons on Thursday night. She is said to be attending at least 2 events across the weekend, as she should make an appearance on the Buckingham Palace balcony on Thursday following the parade, and is also scheduled to attend the service of Thanksgiving being held at St Paul's Cathedral on Friday. However, earlier this month, Buckingham Palace said the Queen's attendance at these events would likely only be confirmed the day of. In a statement, a spokesperson said, "The Queen is looking forward to the weekend and will be taking part in the celebrations, but her presence will not be confirmed until much nearer the time or even on the day itself." Earlier this morning, the Queen's Gold State Coach was seen on the streets of London for the first time in 20 years. Today, as members of the armed forces carried out a final rehearsal for the Platinum Jubilee Pageant. Personnel from the Royal Navy, British Army and Royal Air Force marched through London from 4:30 a.m. as they made final preparations for the event on Sunday, which will mark the finale of the 4-day weekend. Troops carrying the flags of the Commonwealth nations were seen marching down the Mall, while members of the Household Cavalry were photographed in Parliament Square as they prepared for the huge parade. The Gold State Coach is making its first appearance in 20 years, with moving images of the Queen in 1953 on her Coronation Day set to be played on its windows, making it seem as though the young monarch is riding inside. The intricately gilded 260-year-old carriage, which is only ever allowed to carry the sovereign, will lead the procession to the sounds of the bells of Westminster Abbey, chiming as they did on the day she was anointed. It is hoped the 96-year-old monarch will appear on the Buckingham Palace balcony after the pageant to see a musical finale of Ed Sheeran singing the national anthem with a choir made up of nearly 200 celebrities. Also today, it emerged that the palace has asked pageant planners to avoid over-glorifying or over-egging the Queen and her family, or involving anything that seems too antagonising in consideration of anti-royalists. Director David Zolkwa said the pageant was intended to not take itself quite so seriously and that Republicans would be considered alongside stringent royalists, amid concerns the word pageant brings a lot of baggage. He said royal aides wanted to avoid making the day just about the Queen, telling the Radio Times, "The feedback we're getting is that if we're over-glorifying or over-egging, or if anything looks too aggrandising, that's what they're not comfortable with. What they're doing is ensuring that every reference to the Queen is appropriate." A royal source confirmed to the Daily Telegraph that this was the intention, saying that the Queen and other members of the royal family wanted to ensure the Jubilee was a chance for the monarch to thank the public. The Gold State Coach, which was built in 1762, is the 3rd oldest coach in the UK. It will be taken outside the Royal Mews for the first time since the Golden Jubilee. It is made of gilt wood, a thin layer of gold leaf over the wood. The coach is 23 feet long and 12 feet tall and weighs 4 tons. Because of its weight and suspension, it is only ever used at a walking pace, and it is said to be the most uncomfortable carriage the Queen owns. Drawn by 8 Windsor grey horses, it will be led by the mounted band of the Houseguard Cavalry, heralding a riotous celebration of the Queen's life, her favourite things and the diversity of her reign. Adrian Evans, the pageant master, said, "Everywhere you look, in the golden sculptures and painted panels, in the uniforms of the postilions, grooms, footmen, attendants and mounted guards, there is rich tradition and history. It will be a unique spectacle that we are privileged to be opening the pageant with. It will set the tone for the very many spectacular sights to come." The elaborate coach features above each wheel a massive triton figure in gilded walnut wood to represent the spreading of the news of good government. The main body is carved to represent palm trees framing the doors and windows. It features paintings of Roman gods and goddesses representing human skill and endeavour. These include the arts, sciences, virtue, security, and the harvest goddess Ceres setting light to weapons in a sign of peace and prosperity, overcoming war. The front panel includes a figure of Britannia sitting on the banks of the Thames in London, with the dome of St Paul's Cathedral just visible. On the roof is a gilt-wood carving of the British imperial crown being held by 3 putti or cherubs representing England, Scotland and Ireland.